Brexit negotiators must disentangle the UK from the ECJ to ensure we take back control. Disentangling the UK from the European Court of Justice, ECJ, is vital to ensure EU countries do not discriminate against UK businesses, a leading think tank declared. In a BBC Newsite interview, a series of experts revealed the importance of the recently published Brexit position paper and outlined the difficulties for Theresa May's negotiating team. Jill Rutter from the Institute for Government think tank said, "We need an enforcement mechanism because if we have gone to the bother of agreeing on rules and some deep and comprehensive free trade agreement, the people who feel they are not getting the access they feel they should under that agreement want some way of getting redress. If you have been trying to export to a European country, you think its rules are discriminating against you, you want some way of appealing to another authority to say actually these people are not abiding by the rules." In January, the Prime Minister declared that ending ECJ rule was a red line in Brexit talks. She said, "We will take back control of our laws and bring an end to the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice in Britain." However, the government's position paper, which was released yesterday, makes a significant concession by just calling for an end to direct jurisdiction. The director of UK in A Changing Europe, Anand Mio, said, "Overall it is a really informative and useful paper. What came through most strongly for me is that so much attention is being devoted to how to assure alignment between our legal system and the EU legal system after we have left means the government now has one of its priorities to ensure we can keep trading by making sure our legal system is as closely aligned to that of the EU as possible." Officials have not ruled out some indirect role for the EU's highest court because it will remain the ultimate arbiter of EU law within the bloc. Are there any sticking points in the government's negotiating paper on leaving the jurisdiction of the ECJ? #usitepicktwitter.com/c/b2sci BBC Usite, @BBC Usite, August 23, 2017. Britain's concession could pave the way for Britain to come under the European Free Trade Association, EFTA, court, rather than the ECJ. Piet Eickhout, Dean of UCL Faculty of Laws, said, "In the field of aviation, outside the EU, if there is an arbitration panel, which would not be at the ECJ, but since all the rules and all the regulations are adopted at EU level, they continue to be interpreted by the ECJ, and this arbitration would be instructed to take all of this case law into account." Mr. Mio added, "For me, there are two potential sticking points. The first is to do with ratification, because remember, this is about the trade deal, and the trade deal has to be approved, not just by the European Council but by the national parliament of the member states. There I wonder whether all parliaments will to set up a bespoke new adjudication mechanism. The big problem is there are still some areas like the rights of citizens within the UK that the EU is insisting that EU law should apply, and for that you have to have a role for the ECJ. There is no obvious or easy way around that." Mr. Eickhout continued, "It is not clear to me that these proposals would allow a business which has difficulties exporting to France, for example, to actually access a court directly and make their claims under the agreement. It would all have to be done by the UK government and the EU, and so not only business, but if there are rights for people to move, they would not be directly enforceable in the same way they are now." But Eurosceptic MP Jacob Rees-Mogg told The Times, "The key point is that there should not be any direct effect of decisions by any new tribunal on the UK. As long as that is the case, it is a matter of detail, not principle." Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.